What is up? Let me introduce you the basic knowledge of I Ching divination. I'm designing a simple I Ching lesson and will review it free on this YouTube channel. For those who are interested or for those who wanted to explore what is divination, this lesson is definitely designed for you. I know many people of you, including your friends surrounding you, might have thought that divination is something very mysterious, even if you believe that divination does work, but this skill can be only mastered by a certain group of people. But that is all wrong. That is psychic, not divination.
I'm kind of psychic. I have a fifth sense.
Divination doesn't need to have any supernatural power or super sixth sense. Anybody could learn and master this. We are human beings that are born to be in like this way, just like you are born to learn a mathematical calculation like 1 plus 1. Before we dive in further and go into the topic, it is important to let you know that this kind of divination we're going to talk about here. First, I'm not teaching about Western divination, but it's all about Oriental divination. To be more specific, you are learning a prediction system that is an extended version to the original of I Ching, which is the King Wen Oracle system, as known as Wen Wang Gua. It has nothing to do with I Ching when you do the reading. At the end of this video series, you will get to understand how does I Ching work as a prediction system. You will also learn how to consult for some very basic answer. You will also learn the right concept of King Wen Oracle system. Alright, let's start from ancient times. There are three main types of divination that using the I Ching hexagram structure. First is to use the transcript that is ready by the ancient Chinese. What you need to do is make a realistic translation from the transcript which fit the current situation on your question. It's called the Zhou Yi Stocks method or the original text of Yi. This method built from the Zhou dynasty. There is a couple of English translated versions over the market, but the problem here is the different author has a different perspective of view. Even the translator is an Asian doesn't mean that the translation is nearly to the original version. This is what makes a lot of I Ching learners felt too much overwhelming and giving it up at the end.
I am dead inside.
The second is a version happening in the Western Han dynasty. They had added more symbolic text to the hexagram in order to make it better and detailed to read. They had added the heavenly stamps and earthly branches, the 5 elements, the 6 guardians, the 6 skins, and so on. The oracle system that I am talking right now, the King Wen Oracle, as known as Wen Wang Gua, also known as 5 elements of Yi, which is Wu Xing Yi, heavenly stamps and earthly branch of Yi, Gan Zhi Yi, 5 pearls, Huo Zhu Ling, coin divination, Jing Qian Gua, the 6 line, Liu Yao. These are all the same divination system, although the names are different. People have misunderstood about this system were developed by a Han man called Jing Fang. Jing Fang was not the inventor. He only contributes some supporting theory to the King Wen Oracle system. I will write this in a book in the future to explain more. The third version is happening in the later Song dynasty, which is the South Plum Blossom Oracle system. It is a system that using the body of the 5 elements and taking the body to implement generation and restriction cycle, which is the Sun Ke. This is the basic structure of how Plum Blossom is used for an interpretation. Besides the 5 element cycles, some diviner may also use the line statement and the name of the hexagram to make further explanation when they do the reading, as they think this is a little bit more aptly to the I Ching. It doesn't matter you are in the ancient I Ching or Plum Blossom method. With the method that getting the prediction outcome from a direct reading of I Ching text, it has a big drawback. Yet, some diviner prefer to use this method. It is because it seems so much easier to learn. But you have to think about this. As this method is something making a direct interpretation method, you need intuition. What does intuition means here? It means you can't learn from anyone's experience and you can't pass this knowledge to anyone either. Simply, every person's intuition is different. That is why if you ask the same message to 10 people, the 10 people will have a different answers. Not just happening to a different intuition with a different person, Even you translate the message by your own according to your own sense, will remain inconsistent of the result. Try to even look back at the message translated by yourself that was 12 months ago. You will make a different interpretation after the 12 months. This is why I Ching, such a great tool that's supposed to be able to get proven as a scientific tool, has ended up to be classified as a pseudoscience subject. Just like in Feng Shui, people always ask about the quantity of the remedies. Let's say you need to put a block of wood at the corner. How much is considered enough of wood? 100 grams, a kilo, or 10 kilos? This kind of question can be all solved easily by King Wen Oracle system. I Ching and Feng Shui can definitely be an official science subject. It just needs to have a very strict rules during the testing progress. Before we even have the noun of degrees Celsius, we only know hot, quite hot, very hot, or cold, something cold, bloody cold. But is this translation precise enough for the engineer to make a better remedies, or precise enough to let you know how does it really feel? Does this kind of awkward expression sounds familiar with I Ching and Feng Shui remedies? So stop making these great tools to become pseudoscience. I'll make another video for this topic and we'll write it in the book in the future. Besides those drawbacks I've just mentioned, from a learning point of view, sadly speaking, there are too few literatures and case study for this kind of divination method. Although there are many books come with a notation that seems easy to read, but most of the annotation is explaining only to the meaning. It's barely telling you how to explain accurately on the result of divination. As for the plum blossom method, it's also the case with 2 little cases to learn. Even it's in Chinese language version. I am personally interested in all of this, but trust me, you don't really need to have to go with this. King Wen Oracle is the mostly used system by the Chinese community around the world. The reference books come with the most abundant resources. Of course, I'm talking about Chinese language resources. However, there's a black sheep in every flock. Some may have grafted religious into it, which cause it become superstitious.
That is not a good idea.
In order to let you reduce your skeptical thinking, please keep watching this video and learn yourself about this. In the end, you will understand it has nothing to do with religion at all. Learn this with an open heart. If you learn this with prejudice, you won't really get to the point that it has nothing to do with religious, or else you better stop this video now and learn something else. People always say, do not critique if you never learn the method. I personally have learned all of these methods, so I think I am qualified to show you guys which is the better version in terms of real-life decision-making tool. Let me show you guys a very simple comparison why you should take King Wen Oracle seriously than the original I Ching text. Let's first take a look at one of the real-life case. This Quran was in uncertainty about how is his new job application going to be happen. He wants to know how likely he can be promoted to the overseas regional sales department and make an annual income of 60 grand. From this subject, it is obvious that there are 2 questions he is asking. First of all, how do you answer from I Ching text with 2 questions in a single puzzle? Split it into 2 individual questions, ignore either one, or others. Comment down below your method and let me know. What he gets is the hexagram of heaven over water with the 4th line changing 天水送之风水幻. With the original text, once you get this hexagram, you will have this kind of text. Look at how was it being translated. I will not be wasting your time here to read all of this here. If you're interested to read it, pause the video now and I will keep going. Meanwhile, this hexagram has a moving line on line number 4. Again, it has some translation about what has been going on with this particular line. Pause this video now if you wanted to read on it. Right, if you really could get exactly into what does the text from the hexagram really telling you, then congrats. And leave comment down below what did you get there. You probably don't need an oracle system that guides you through the details. But before you stop this video now, keep watching and compare yourself with the true King Wen Oracle system. With the same hexagram, my reading will be this, asking can he get into promoted for the overseas department and make an annual income of 60 grand. From this, I can tell the quadrant that he could get into this company, which is Object Generate Self-Line, but he has no confidence and his skills ability are not enough to handle the company task, which is the self-holding siblings, empty, divert, empty. This is all the jargons that will be taught in this series of video. And the next is, he can't make it 60 grand due to the reason of not having enough professional skill. He will only able to get 36 grand with the error rate of plus minus 6 grand, which means from the hexagram, he could get a maximum of 42 grand and 30 grand of annual income at least. In November, he will be lost his current job. So this is the only foretell part. Now you need to provide a remedy. I mean, you can't go to see a doctor and let the doctor telling you that you are certified to get a cancer, but without giving you a proper direction of treatment. So from this hexagram, I could again tell him that he needs to boost up his sales skills. Now you see how detailed in a King 1 Oracle can tell. From the hexagram, we could see that the wealth line is prosperous enough, but the offspring line is weak. And the self line has transformed into empty offspring lines. This indicates the root problem from the quadrant. Once the root problem gets to solve, he will get more than 60 grand annually. From the hexagram, it also tells that his workmate that born in the year of goat and monkey can be collaborated. This workmate can help him to achieve more than 60 grand and able to indirectly helping him to get sustained from his current job. You see the difference now? Can I Ching answer you directly what you are asking? Like in this case, yes, you could get promoted. Can I Ching text tell you in such detail like you could make only 36 grand instead of 60 grand? Can I Ching text tell you the number that able to help you to make a decision? Like I always say, let's say you are asking a return of a 10 grand investment. If the I Ching say yes, you could make money with the investment. But what if it is only making $100 annually? Is that worth to invest? Besides number, can I Ching text tell you the time that things going to be happening? Like this hexagram, he will lose his job in November. Well, maybe you can, but it is probably not from the original I Ching text. Comment down below and let me know how you predict like I am showing here. You consult to I Ching because you wanted to clear your doubt. Without proper direction, you need to take a lot of guessing. Sometimes you're even making your own situation even worse after the consultation. You're getting more confused about the future. Is that the way you're willing to handle life with full of guessing? Like sending yourself into a surgery room that the doctor has absolutely no firm idea how to start his surgery operation on you. Don't fool yourself with your own destiny. A proper decision making needs to know how severity is the event and when it will be happening. Not only this, the King 1 Oracle system I'm showing here can even apply to everything, including Feng Shui. You may hear of Feng Shui methods like the Flying Star or the 8 Mansions, but you may not hear about the divination that can be the tool for the Feng Shui as well. Take a look at this hexagram. It is hexagram 20, wind over earth for the observing. This quadrant asking about her retail business. She can't make a decision whether to continue or to stop the business. If you look at the I Ching text, let's take a look at a different translator now. Again, if you wanted to go through it, pause the video now. So, how did you go with the prediction? Did you find out anything that linked within the I Ching text and the question? Comment down below again and let me know. Now let me show you my analysis that using King 1 Oracle system from the hexagram. It is clearly stated that her business currently expenses are more than income by 25%. The second indication from the hexagram is that there will be no improvement sign if she wanted to continue the business. In this hexagram, it shows some problem. Although this location has many cars driving passers by, which seems might be able to drive some business traffic, but in fact, it doesn't make up a significant walk-in customer. The retail shops around the neighborhood are very quiet, business centers are not compact and dense enough. This is the external factor that makes the retail business getting tough. Now let's dig some info about Feng Shui from this hexagram. This shop is facing the direction of the northeast as indicated in the hexagram. This shop has a walk-up stairs from the street. This makes the chi can't flow into the shop. No chi means no customer. Even if the chi problem gets solved, it will still need to wait at least 2 years to turn better. And there is a water inlet at the back of the shop. The right side of the shop is weak and empty. This had added another layer of difficulty to the owner. These are all the details that can be spotted from the hexagram by King Wen Oracle system. We shall deal with the problem we are facing with a precise answer. Can I Ching original text tell you the facing direction of your house? Can the text explain to you the business environment in detail? Again, can the text tell you the exact happening time for the ease of your decision making? With these two examples of comparison, apparently that the King Wen Oracle system can really solve your real life problem. All of the above are not with super magical power. With the systematic learning approach, you could learn and master these skills too. Now sit back and keep watching my next video to learn about King Wen Oracle system. Once you really master the skill, you could be the best life and business coach in the market. So remember to subscribe my channel and give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any question, or else I'll see you in the next video.